Okay, so now that you have finished with your design, there is a few more steps that we need to do. First, we need to create an assembly of the whole design so you can actually see how this is going to look like at the end. So right now, if you notice, this is an IPT file, which stands for inventor part. So this is a single part. What we're going to create next is going to be an assembly, an inventor assembly. So I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to click on New, and then we have Assembly. Once I click on it, a new file is created. At the bottom, the name of it. So once again, first thing that I have to do as soon as I start a whole new program is that I'm going to save it. Save as. Now, once again, I'm going to go to my engineering folder located under my school ID, and I'm going to call this the Dragster Assembly. And I'm going to hit save. All right. In Google Classroom, you're going to find files that will include the axle, another file called the front wheel, and another file called the back wheel or rear wheel. You need to download those files and have them in your computer. The first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to place the Dragster IPT. So on the top left, I hit on the place option, and then I am going to look for the location of where the file is stored. So I'm going to look for my school ID, look for engineering, and then look for Dragster. I have two Dragsters. You get a little bit of a preview in this pane here, depending on, so by mistake, I call this Dragster, and that is the file that I need. So now it shows up. I hit once, and then I right click and hit OK. And this is my design. So this is the part that I created. Okay, this is this same part here. All right. Now I need to add to my working area the axles that will go through these two holes. So I hit on place again, and I downloaded the files. Actually, what I should do is that once you download the files, you're going to put those files inside that same folder where you have stored your assembly, your Dragster. So you can see the files here. I had already downloaded them. I see the axle here, so I'm going to double tap on it. How many axles do I need? Well, I need two. One for the front, so I tap once on the mouse, and another one for the back. I tap again. Right click, and OK. Next, I need the front wheels. So base, look for front wheel, hit open, and tap twice. 1 and 2. Right click and OK. And finally, I need my back wheel. Open, tap twice, right click and OK. So now I have a bunch of different parts here. The next thing that I need to do is that I need to insert the axles to the holes, and I need to put the wheels on the axles. So we do this by using constraints. When I hit constraint, okay, I can move this out of the way if I need to. I'm going to put an insert constraint. Insert constraint. Here is showing me those two solutions. One of them puts two edges that I select, and it puts them in opposite directions. The other one puts the two edges in the same direction. So I'm going to use this second solution. Now you notice that as I hover my mouse on top of one of the axles, the arrow appears. If I go to the other edge, that arrow changes. Now on the opposite side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this side, and I'm going to choose right here the rim of the hole. And you're going to hear a little click. That click means that you were actually able, that the system does accept my constraint. Something else that I need to do is that I need to give it a little bit of offset. So right here where it says offset, I'm going to type in a value so my axle moves in that direction. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give it a negative 0.25 offset, And if you notice, what it does is that it moves my axle 0.25 inches in this direction. So I'm going to hit apply. And then I can rotate things again. I'm going to choose the second axle. So once again, hit on this edge, hit on the rim of the hole, and I'm going to type in negative 0.25 inches. Hit apply. I can close this now, and you can see that the axle has been inserted. It's aligned. Next, I need to put in the wheels. So what I'm going to do is, once again, I'm going to use my insert constraint. So I'm going to insert. For this one, I believe, actually, I'm going to use the same type of constraint. Let's choose the edge of that axle. Now here, I need to turn things around so I can actually choose the edge right here. That is too much. That doesn't work. Let me see the other solution. Oh yeah, it is the second solution. But once again, I need to give it an offset. And if you remember, when I gave the offset of this axle, when I gave it a negative value, it shifted the axle towards the bottom left of your screen. So if I shift now this, if I give it an offset of the wheel to the top right of the screen, it should be positive. So let's see if this works. This should be 0.125. You shift this guy over here. So let's make it negative. Get it 0.25. And there you go. The axle is inserted inside our wheel. I hit OK. Now I need to do the other side of the axle. So hit on the axle. Once again, turn things around. Click on the edge. And give it a little bit of an offset. This is 0.125. It will be negative 0.125. I think this is too. Yeah, if you use 1/4 of an inch, it should actually be flushed against it. So hit apply. Now, I use 0.125 here, and I use 0.25 for this one. So this one needs to be corrected. This one needs to be fixed. And I can do that by going over here on my browser. This is called the browser, and it keeps track of everything that has been done here. So I'm going to use for that wheel, look for that wheel, which is this one, the front wheel 2. I'm going to open this menu, and right here is my insert. I'm going to double click on it, and I can actually change my value. This is 0.25. I hit OK, and notice now it's all the way in. And what I can do, if I can actually right click on this, on my body of the shape, I can select it, right click, and I am going to need to ground it. By grounding things, it means that if I try to drag it, it won't move around. But if I try to drag the wheels, you can see that they spin. All right. Now I'm going to insert my last 2 tires, or my last 2 wheels. The hole is here. So I'm going to click constraint, insert this guy with this guy. And I also need to give it a 0.25 offset. It has to be negative. Hit apply. This edge with, this is going to be fun. Right here. This edge. You need to be very careful. You need to make sure that you move things around so you select the right part. Now, 0.25. But it has to be negative. Hit apply, and that is it. My dragster has been put together. Actually, it's upside down. All right. So there is my dragster. You can, if you want, you could actually also give it a little bit of a color. You can do that by clicking on the shape itself. Right here on the top, you can select generic. This is wood, so I'm going to find some type of wood. We have birch. And you can see that it actually gives you the color of the wood. You can actually give it different colors if you wanted to. Okay, so before I continue, what I need to do is that I need to change things so I have everything placed in the right direction. This is my part. This is my assembly. What I'm going to do is that I need to turn things around. So let me look at here at the top. And I am turning things around so I put my dragster in a specific way. So let me see if I can use this. Rotate in this direction. Rotate here. Rotate here. And what I'm trying to do right now is that I'm going to try to align this. Let me see. Somewhere like this. Okay. Actually, it's not quite enough. I need to use this tool here to help me rotate it. Let's see, maybe there. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to right click on this little home here. I am going to put set current view as the front. I want this to be the front of my shape. Okay. Next, I am going to click on this top right corner of my view cube. So my view is placed like this. Okay. Need to make sure that the front is in this direction, the top is here, and this is the right. Okay. Now that I did this, I need to open a file that you're going to find in Google Classroom called Drawing Custom Format. You need to move that file to your engineering folder in the drive that has your school ID, and you open it. Okay. Let me go back here. I had already started doing this. Let me show you what I mean. Sorry, I went back and I started messing things around. This is set current view as home fit to view. All right. So now what I'm going to do is a little bit more. Kind of move things around incorrectly, so that's why I need to fix everything now. This is supposed to be my front view. So set current view as the front. Okay, there you go. That's better. All right. Sorry about that. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to open that file that I created, I downloaded from Google Classroom. The file is called Drawing Custom Format. So I open it and this appears. It's like a piece of paper. And I'm going to place all of my views here. First thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to look to the browser here on the left. It says Draw a Drawing. I'm going to click on that little arrow and it's going to appear Fill Text. Now that I have my fill text, I'm going to double tap on fill text and this is going to open what is asking me for the project name. This is my Dragster Assembly. I click on the second line, the student name, and then the date. So today happens to be November 13th. Okay, so whatever date you need to turn this in, that's the date that you're going to put in there. If you notice, this updates with that information. Next, I'm going to click on Base. And because I already had my assembly open, it's going to select my assembly automatically. Okay. However, if you do not have your assembly open, you're going to have to search for the location of the assembly by clicking on this folder here and navigating until you find that assembly. I need to change the scale, so the scale goes 1 to 2, right? And before I click OK, I am going to position this front view right here. So remember how I moved things around in my assembly and I selected this to be the front view? I did that so here my placement will be okay. If it happens to be in any other direction, you're going to use this cube here to help you rotate and put your assembly in the right way. Once I do this, you see this little arrow? I'm going to tap on it once. It shows me the top view. Here is another arrow. Tap on it, another view. And then there's a tiny arrow here in the corner. Top view. I'm going to hit OK. And here is the drawing of my design. I have the top view, I have front view, side view, and finally my isometric view. You're going to print this. Currently, I don't have the printer installed on this computer, but you will by the time you get here. You're going to click on File, Print, and you're going to look for D8 color laser, and you're going to print this. Make sure that you save it. Forgot to save this file. So this is going to be saved in my engineering folder, and I'm going to call it Dragster Assembly Drawing. Okay? You print it and you tape it to your notebook. And then one more. Okay? Now I'm going to generate another one of these drawings, but only for the IPT. I'm going to use that as my stencil so I can create lines on the actual piece of wood. So I'm going to click on File, Open. Once again, I'm going to open that drawing custom format. Okay? And for this one, you're going to be cutting the outlines of this, so you don't really need to fill out any other information. I'm going to open the base, but instead of choosing my assembly, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to navigate to where my IPT is located. I'm going to go for engineering, and there is my Dragster. Right here is a preview, just making sure that I'm choosing the right thing. And I'm going to hit Open. It shows up these changes, and this time my scale is going to be 1:1. I only need two things, my front view and my top view. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to save this. I saved it on my drawing custom format. I should have saved it with a different name. Save as. Roscoe Engineering. And this is Dragster IPT Drawing. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to print this. Okay. Once I print this, I'm going to cut this, the outline of this one, and I'm going to glue or tape this outline to my piece of wood. And then I'm going to take a pen or pencil and I'm going to trace the lines. So now I am tracing the shape on the side of my piece of wood. And I'm going to use those lines as references so I can cut the wood. And that should be pretty much for using Inventor at this point.